I grew up in the shadow of the Appalachian Mountains. The forest isn't just a place to me, it's a second home. I know every trail, every creek, and every sound the trees make when the wind blows through them. Or at least, I thought I did. My name is Mark. I'm 45 years old, and I've been hunting since I was 12. I'm not easily spooked. I've had run-ins with bears, coyotes, and even a mountain lion once. Animals are predictable. If you respect their territory, they usually leave you alone. But what I encountered last night wasn't an animal. It was the peak of deer season. I hiked about 5 miles deep into the state forest, far away from the casual trails where the weekend tourists go. I had a tree stand set up in a particularly dense area overlooking a narrow game trail. By the time the sun began to set, the woods were quiet. Too quiet. Usually at dusk, the forest comes alive, crickets, owls, the rustle of small rodents in the leaves. But last night, silence fell over the woods like a heavy blanket. It was suffocating. I checked my watch, 6:45 p.m. It was getting too dark to shoot safely. I decided to pack up and head back to my truck. I climbed down from the tree stand, my boots hitting the soft earth with a dull thud. I turned on my headlamp, cutting a cone of light through the darkness. The beam illuminated the trees, casting long, dancing shadows that looked like grasping fingers. That's when I heard it. "Mark!" I froze. My hand instinctively went to the rifle slung over my shoulder. The voice came from my left, maybe 50 yards away, deep in the thicket. It was my brother's voice, clear as day. "Mark, are you there?" My heart skipped a beat. My brother Sam lives in California. He hasn't been to these woods in 10 years. He hates hunting. "Sam?" I called out, confused. The logical part of my brain tried to make sense of it. Maybe he came to visit? Maybe he got lost looking for me? "Mark, help me, my leg." The voice was pained now, urgent. I took a step toward the sound. "Sam, stay put, I'm coming." I pushed through the underbrush, the branches whipping against my face. I walked for about 2 minutes toward where I heard the voice. Then I heard it again, but this time it came from behind me. "Mark, help me, my leg." I stopped dead in my tracks. The tone, the pitch, the cadence, it was identical to the first time. Not just similar, identical, like a recording being played back. A cold chill ran down my spine, sharper than the winter air. Animals don't talk, and humans don't teleport 50 yards in seconds without making a sound in dry leaves. I raised my rifle. "Who's out there?" I yelled. "This isn't funny." Silence.
Then, from my right side, a different voice. "Hey, honey, dinner is ready." My blood turned to ice. That was my wife's voice. My wife, who was at home, probably watching TV right now. The voice sounded sweet, domestic, completely out of place in the dark, freezing woods. "Dinner is ready," the voice repeated from a different direction. Then again, and again. "Dinner is ready. Help me. Mark, my leg. Dinner is ready." The sounds were overlapping now, coming from all around me. They were closing in. It wasn't multiple people. It was one thing moving incredibly fast, circling me, throwing voices like a ventriloquist. I didn't wait to see what it was. I turned toward where I knew the main trail was, and I ran. I'm a big guy, and moving fast in the woods at night is dangerous. I tripped over roots, slammed my shoulder into trees, but I didn't slow down. Behind me, the mimicry changed. It stopped using words. It started screaming, but it wasn't a human scream. It was the sound of a woman screaming, mixed with the growl of a bear and the sound of a tree snapping in half. A digital, glitched, organic nightmare of noise. Scree! Crack! Growl! It was close. I could hear heavy footsteps thumping on the ground. Thump, thump, thump. 2 legs, but heavy. Too heavy for a man. I saw the reflective markers of the main trail ahead. I pushed my legs harder, my lungs burning. "Mark, don't leave me!" yelled my brother's voice right in my ear. I felt hot, rotten breath on the back of my neck.
I spun around and fired a shot blindly into the dark. Bang! The muzzle flash lit up the woods for a split second, and I saw it. It was standing just 10 feet away. It was tall, pale, emaciated. It looked like a deer that had been stretched out on a rack, forced to stand on 2 legs. But its head wasn't a deer skull. It was a mass of loose flesh, and where the face should be, there was just a hole, a gaping, wet hole that vibrated. From that hole came my own voice. Bang! It mimicked the sound of my gun perfectly. I turned and sprinted. The adrenaline was the only thing keeping me moving. I reached my truck, fumbled with the keys, and threw myself inside. I locked the doors just as something slammed into the side of the bed. The whole truck shook violently. I started the engine and peeled out of there, tires spinning in the mud. I drove for 20 miles before my hands stopped shaking enough to grip the wheel properly. When I got home, my wife was in the kitchen. "Hey, honey, dinner is ready," she said, smiling. I almost threw up. I haven't gone back to the woods. I sold my rifle yesterday. But the worst part isn't the memory of what I saw. The worst part is that now, at night, when I'm lying in bed, I can hear sounds coming from the edge of the forest behind my house. Sometimes it sounds like my brother. Sometimes it sounds like me. But last night, it learned a new sound. Last night, I heard the sound of my truck door unlocking.
Thank you for listening. If you enjoyed this nightmare, please leave a like and subscribe to the channel. There are many more stories waiting in the dark. Sleep well, if you can.